Is that on? Oh, it's on. Okay. I'm using this for the live stream as well. I usually yell to the back of the audience, but I'll use this tonight. Thank you all for being here. This is kind of a journey of a recital for me. It's a very deeply personal recital. It's something that I've been thinking about since COVID, actually. I love color, and during COVID, actually, I spent a lot of time walking, jogging, being outside with our kids, and just kind of appreciating the colors and just really thinking about color. And I wanted to put together a recital to pairing the two, clarinet and color. And at the time, I was actually on a committee with Professor Jason Saitaki, can you wave, Jason? I see you, he's right there. And we were on a committee online together, and I just started thinking that's a connection that I have in the art school. It'd be really cool if I could do something with him. And so this recital is born out of that idea from several years ago. Each piece on the program is related to a color and some experience of mine, most of them. The first piece is by Catherine McMichael, and this is a piece that we actually commissioned this last year, and we premiered it this past summer at the International Clarinet Association Conference. And when we were talking to her about the composition, she asked us about some personal things about us, like what we were, like past stories about that we might want to share or something. And one of the things that was really important to us early on in our marriage was we got to go to Scotland. My husband won a fellowship from Michigan State University to do a 6-week stint for DMA research there. And we took a lot of side trips, and it was really incredibly special. And we have been so fortunate to be able to play around the world and experience lots of different places, and still that is our very favorite place we've ever been. And so we talked to her about that, and she was really struck by our stories, and so this piece was born. This is actually related to a trip we took to the Isle of Staffa and Iona. We wanted to see Fingal's Cave. If some of you know, Mendelssohn has the overture to Fingal's Cave, and I really wanted to see it, and you have to take this little tiny boat from these very small islands to Fingal's Cave. But on the way there, there's actually a stop in Iona, which is also a small isle off of Scotland. It's where Christianity first came to Scotland. And there's a beautiful abbey there. And so the first movement of the piece is the abbey. And I'm just going to say the abbey itself isn't green on the outside, but Scotland is just green, green, green. That's all you see all the time is green everywhere you look. And so that's kind of why green is the primary color for this. There's a beautiful island, beautiful abbey. The second movement is puffins, and we were so fortunate to actually visit Fingal's Cave when the puffins were in breeding season. And so they had all these little nests, and they were hopping around, and they were so incredibly cute. I mean, people plan trips years out to be able to see these puffins, and we were so fortunate that we had no idea, and ours just happened to land at that time. And so they are graceful birds when they fly, and graceful birds when they swim. They are not so graceful when they're walking around on the ground, and you can kind of hear that in this. It's kind of a funny second movement. The third movement is about Iona marble, which is actually a type of stone, and it is green, very different kinds of greens. And I brought the greens to the students actually in Professor Saitaki's class and showed them what the stones looked like, the variations in color. And it was really cool because seeing the artwork that came out of that, you see these greens. But this particular piece, the interior of the abbey is made up of all of this green marble stone. And it is just incredible if you want to get online and look at some point. It is just so gorgeous and beautiful, and it made such a big impression on us. And so that's the third movement. Just talking a little bit before we start about this whole project, I picked these pieces because they meant something to me. I picked colors because it's how I kind of associate with the pieces. And then I went to Professor Saitaki's class and spoke to the class about my personal relationship with the pieces, gave them the composer program notes, gave them recordings to listen to of the pieces, and then they came up with this artwork that you'll be seeing throughout the program, and also outside. It will be exhibited outside in Gothic Hall. So please take a look at intermission and at the end of the program. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you very much. So that color was beautiful, and it reminded me of so many wonderful memories. But color also can symbolize something that's really difficult and challenging. And I don't know if you noticed, but I have Kleenex back here and a garbage can even if I start crying. So it's very possible in this one I'll start crying. We'll talk about that in a second. But this one is very personal for me. Harburg wrote this piece between 2013 and 2015. And in 2013, she found out that a good friend of hers' husband was dying of cancer. And it was really traumatic, and she was very, very upset, and she ended up leaning on the piano, and she ended up playing the first two notes of this sonata. This actually coincided with the time in her life where she had actually stopped composing and didn't feel like she had anything left to give, basically. And so this was kind of the start of her composing again, and she has not stopped since. So she kind of hit the piano, these two notes, and they started the first movement of this sonata. Okay, so the first movement is based on this friend of hers' husband who had this horrible battle with cancer and passed away. The second movement and third movement were actually written closer to 2015 when her father was in the hospital for an extended stay with a really serious illness and ended up passing away that year. So this particular movement also has the sadness of his illness and then the anger in the third movement. She talks a little bit about being in the hospital room so much and how awful it was and just the smell of it. And just, if anybody's been in a hospital room for any length of time, you know what that feels like. And this last movement is basically her anger towards that. So this particular piece has always spoken to me. I remember when Rin played it for the first time in my studio. And I remember just thinking, oh, this is an incredible piece. And so I've always wanted to play it, and the three movements really have connected to three people in my life that have recently passed away from battles with cancer. And so my father-in-law, Robert Tirk, was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer several years ago. I'll be okay, but give me a second. And of course, that's a devastating diagnosis. And he actually lived a little bit longer than most people with pancreatic cancer do. And so we had a little bit of time with him. And every time I play the slow movement or the slow beginning of this first movement, it's just heart-wrenching for me because it reminds me of that time. But then she goes into this fun and wonderful section of the piece. And it reminds me of our children who were very young at the time. They were like, 1 and 3 and then 2 and 4. And they were so young. And when you have little kids, they're just so joyous and there's so much beauty and things they're learning and you laugh. And it was such a beautiful time at the same time that it was a really horrible time. And this movement actually has several places that kind of come back to that sadness, but then they keep coming back to the happiness as well. And at the very end, even though it's soft, it kind of goes back to that happiness. I imagine our kids kind of playing peekaboo a little bit at the end. The second movement is a lament. It's a song of grief. And my father-in-law passed away in 2017. And then we had COVID. And at the very end of COVID, my mother-in-law was diagnosed with bladder cancer. And there was just this, are you kidding? Really? Again, and it was just awful. And so this song is like a song of grief of how can this happen again? And she ultimately passed away from it after about maybe 1.5 years of battling it. And then the third movement is related to my uncle, who my dad had 9 kids in his family. He was the 9th child, and this happened to me. My last living uncle or aunt from that side, who was the next above my dad in order, and he had melanoma and was diagnosed and passed away maybe within a few months of his diagnosis. So at this point, I'm angry at cancer. I'm really angry at it and can't believe that it's taking all of these people in my life. And I continue to see people, friends, and other people who have cancer, and it's so frustrating and awful. And anyway, so there's an anger in me. But I also have to say that my uncle was this incredibly happy person when he was around me, and he loved the music that I played, and he also was very peaceful at the end of his life, and I've lived a good life, and he was so peaceful. And so that kind of tempered my anger a little bit, having his approach, or like hearing his approach to his life and his death. And it was really beautiful. And so this last movement is kind of interesting because she says it's really angry, but I can guarantee you that the clarinet can sound really angry. It can sound really biting and really off, like really scary sometimes. And she doesn't do that actually. She has the clarinet slurring all the time. She has certain articulations that actually are softer. So it's not quite as angry as it could be. And I actually feel like that's kind of a description of how I feel about this movement. Is that my anger is tempered by my uncle. The artwork that you see is going to be based on the colors related to each of the cancers. So pancreatic cancer is purple for the first movement. The second movement is actually, for bladder cancer, is a ribbon with 3 colors, navy, yellow, and I believe purple. And then the third movement is melanoma, which is black. I can't say I hope you enjoy this piece because it's a little hard. I will say to you, as a musician and an artist, and my students know this, and I think a lot of musicians will understand this, there's a level of expectation of perfection. And it's really hard to let yourself go and feel something while you're playing because the sound is going to shake, and I might not be able to play all the notes, and I might squeak, and I might start crying. And I've talked to Dr. Kim about if that happens, we're going to just stop. And I might have to take a second to cry. And I'm going to do that in front of you. I'm being very vulnerable in front of all of you, but I'm appreciative that you're here with me on this. As I try to do this, I think it's really important for me as a person and as a musician. So anyway, thank you for being on this journey. I have lost my dummy. Hold on. Oh my God, I'll be right back. So this next piece on the program comes from a much longer piece for flute, clarinet, and piano by Valerie Coleman. Has several movements, and they're all based on the poetry of Langston Hughes. And what's wrong? Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I forgot, we've been switching sides back and forth. I went to the wrong side. You can move my music. It's great to have a colleague like Dr. Watts to remind me what I'm supposed to do. Oh no. I don't even know what that is. Oh, it's this, all state etudes, I think. All right. Anyway, so this is a piece actually that I really wanted to play right after the piece before, but I didn't think I could do it. So we had an intermission, and now we have this piece, but this is a piece about life. It's a piece about that there's always light, and there's always hope, and there's always renewal. And I'm going to let my husband speak the poetry, and then we will play.
In time of silver rain. In time of silver rain, the earth puts forth new life again. Green grasses grow, and flowers lift their heads, and over all the plain the wonder spreads of life, of life, of life. In time of silver rain, the butterflies lift their silken wings to catch a rainbow cry, and trees put forth new leaves to sing in joy beneath the sky. As down the roadway, passing boys and girls go singing too, in the time of silver rain, when spring and life are new.
Can I just say it's pretty awesome to have a clarinet studio? I think it's pretty awesome. You guys are great. Yep, I know. So we've come to red, Boomer. Thank you. Okay, I know it's not crimson, but it's red. And this is just kind of looping back to the beginning, where it's just beautiful, fun, joyful music. This is 3 movements of a piece by Paquito de Rivera. All dances. The first one is contra dance, which is actually formerly a French dance from the 1800s that was used actually in Cuba. Paquito de Rivera is Cuban-American, clarinetist and saxophonist. And this dance actually became kind of, I think, the mambo, maybe. I gotta look. I can't remember. Anyway, I'm sorry. It translated into other dance forms in Cuba. And then the second movement is in habanera, which is dedicated to Maurice Ravel. He was very interested in the Spanish songs. His mom actually was Basque and would sing him Spanish folk tunes all the time. And so he was really interested. And so Paquito de Rivera wrote one as the middle movement in honor of him. And the last one is a Venezuelan waltz. And I hope you enjoy Red. Thank you for coming tonight. And I also have to say thank you to my collaborators, Dr. Watts, who's back there, Dr. Kim. Sorry, I got it. And my darling husband, of course, and Michelle, who's sitting over there running the pictures. So anyway, I also have to say thank you to the art painting class. Are any of the artists here? Is anybody? Can you guys stand up if you're actually here? I don't know if anybody was able to make it tonight. No, okay. Oh yeah, you did. Oh good, yay, good. Woo! Please make sure to look at their art.
it.